Hey guys, thanks for joining me. And if you like what you see, please subscribe.
Whoa, hello peoples. Welcome to Sharp Ends. So I want to do a review of this very cool little knife. This is the PT-XL from Reate, $126, I believe I bought it for. This is the copper bladed version, but they have other ones as well. There'll be a link down below. And I believe that they're still readily available. I did an unboxing of this video, and I've actually carried this longer than I would usually carry a knife before reviewing it. I've carried this a lot because I've had just a lot of thoughts about it, and I really wanted to check it out. So first, Reate does some really premium knives, very good OEM, and their stuff is just phenomenal, and it's usually very, very expensive. They don't have a budget line like most other knife companies that are about the same size. So this is a knife that is fairly cheap for them, 126. And another thing that's really cool about this knife is that it has, instead of a button lock, it has this pivot lock. This whole pivot comes up and goes down, and you can open it with pushing the button and a wrist flick, or you can just use the thumb stud. So that's really cool and innovative, and I like that a lot. And also the copper finish, I really like that on this particular version of the knife. Um, for as far as the size, this is like, I would call this a medium to small knife. You're talking, I think this is 3-inch blade length. Yeah, 3-inch blade length, even a little bit less than 3 inches, more like 2 3/4. And then the overall length is 7 inches. You can get 4 fingers on here, and there is a choke up point, which is really nice. However, for me, it is a little small. I prefer knives that are at least 3 inches long, if not like 3.5 inches. But having said that, this works very well. It's not too aggressive or big. Because of the button lock and the sandwich construction, it is rather thick compared in the handle compared to other knives. This is like basically 5/8 thick. Whereas if you look at something like super nice, like the Rosalinda, say, you're talking about well under half an inch of thickness. That definitely feels different in the hand. It almost feels like you're carrying a fixed blade when you have this extended, like you're carrying a Mako or something that's like thicker in the hand, that you want to be that. So I'm used to carrying a little fixed blade, so it's not the end of the world for me, but for a pocket knife, it is quite different. So as far as the ergos go, it does feel really good choking up on this. Now, there's a chance that you could accidentally push this button if you're choking up and pressing really hard. And they've provided a little lock here. That lock works really well. Now, if you do push that button, there is a little bit of wiggle from that lock, but it's not the end of the world. And I like that they thought about that and that that lock is an option for you. I also like that they've included lefties on this. They've just got this bent clip here, but I like the way they've done it. And they have this insert, which is also brass, so that you can just switch it over for lefties, and that's great. As far as the visual effect of this, I really like the copper. You can see that the copper is starting to wear off here, and this is after, I don't know how long I've had this, 3 4 weeks of wearing it several times a week with other stuff in my pocket and stuff like that. The blade itself, though, still absolutely fine. There's no real wear on there. I think it's going to wear really nicely. I have stropped this several times, and I don't see any wear to the edge where where the copper meets the bevel. Um, this is Nitro V, which is an absolutely fine knife steel for this price point, I think. And it's, Nitro V, fine. I like Nitro V. I think that it's at the top of its range of acceptability for price, but this is innovative at the same time. So I think that it's absolutely fine. Um, you're not going to be able to, so I can thumb flick this very easily. It took me a minute to really get the handle of it because there's not quite enough room here. I mean, there is. I can do it consistently, but I almost wish that the geometry was a little different between the thumb stud and this over here. Now, finger flicking it is basically impossible, at least for me. I can't, I mean, I just did it right there, but it hurts and it's hard to get, and I often misfire like I just did. I misfired again. Yeah, I just use my thumb or I just used a button lock, but finger flicking it, not going to happen, at least for me. So yeah, I like this full backspacer back here with the jimping on it. It feels nice, looks nice. I did not disassemble this knife. I watched some other people disassemble this knife. It gets to a point where there's basically a cartridge inside and you can't go any further. I don't think I need to take it apart right now, so I'm just not going to. Next, the sandwich construction on this, you've got steel liners. I wish that these steel liners might have been a different color, maybe this brass again, but it's fine. These speed holes don't do anything for me. I'm not a speed hole guy. I don't really like them or understand them. But having said that, because this is copper, being able to see the copper inside is actually cool. So despite myself, I find myself not being annoyed by it, at least not as annoyed as I usually would. It does a pretty cool visual effect there with the brass or with the copper down in there. As far as the cutting and the blade geometry, it's a little bit of a drop point, a little bit of a swedge up top. It does the job. It's a knife. It's knife shaped. It's absolutely fine. So my final thoughts are: this is innovative. I like the fact that this pivot button actually works really well, and I like that. And it feels really nice. It's a little bit thicker. I wish that this knife was just half an inch longer in the blade and half an inch longer in the handle. Like they call this the PT-XL, but it doesn't feel XL to me. I think that they really need to make an XL version of this. This pivot lock is cool and I like it. I think it could be, I think some people would really like it. I don't think that it's necessarily for me. I'm glad I have an example in my collection. Probably end up giving this away to my Patreon subscribers. But it's cool. It's definitely cool. It's definitely in the conversation for innovative knife of the year. But overall, I think it could be a little bit bigger. And I really like the copper finish. I hope they do that on more knives. Just like that. Lately, I also got this rose gold finish pyrite, and there's something about that black finish and the brass rose copper finish that I do like that aesthetic. So I think that that's pretty cool. What do you guys think? Are you going to pick one up? If so, use the link down below. Appreciate it. I think I can provide an Amazon link, which will actually help the channel. If you also want to help the channel, you can like and subscribe and leave a comment. And for $3 a month, you get a chance to win a knife every month. This will be coming up in the rotation for a giveaway, I'm sure, at some point in the future. So thanks so much, guys, and I will see you next time on Sharp Ends. Bye-bye now.